What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got AJ reacting to knocking Francis Ngannou spark out. What were AJ's first words to Ngannou? We're about to find out right now. Here we go.
No idea.
You're an inspiration. Okay, thank you. Beat a lot of people. Don't leave boxing. No, I will not. Don't leave. Do it. Don't leave boxing, you know. You guys are the truth, bro. The truth. Next Tyson.
Oh, so there's the first words from AJ. He said, don't leave boxing. Now, listen, AJ's a nice man. He ain't taking it how I'm taking it, but I'm going to take it where I'm going to take it, obviously. I don't know, man. It's muggy. Let's assume, for example, yeah, you're at school and you whoop someone's ass, yeah. And the first words you say to them are, don't leave school, bro. Like, don't leave school. You should stay here. You're giving, you're not the authority in that sense. Again, AJ's not coming at it from this angle. I'm coming at it from my angle. But, let's say you got knocked out, yeah. If you got knocked spark out in round 2, probably one of the last things I'd want to hear was, don't leave the sport. That implies that you could potentially leave the sport, right? I've knocked you out in such a fashion that you probably should leave, but I'm going to tell you not to. I'm ordaining you. With the authority ordained to me by the boxing gods, I'm giving you permission to stay in the sport. That's what I heard. Yeah, because the way I knocked your ass out, really, and truthfully, you should be back in the UFC. That's the truth. We all saw it, man. Yeah? So really and truthfully, your ass should be back in the UFC fighting John Jones. And I said that. I said, people, you need to fight Johnny Bones. You were the champion there. That was your thing. Don't get me wrong, the Fury fight threw us all off. Certainly threw me off. I was big on the Ngannou Anunnaki. People keep asking me what Anunnaki is. Type in Annunaki. Yeah, these are the alleged Egyptian kind of cats who came down and passed all the information. The engineers, essentially, of the world. It's a funny thing for me, but you know what I'm saying, essentially. Ngannou, the Anunnaki, AJ knock his Anunnaki ass spark out and then told him, don't leave though. I've done you wrong tonight. It's a fact. That's what AJ said. AJ said, I've done you well wrong. I've done you so wrong that really only I can tell you to stay in the sport. And you ain't going to hear it from no one else. No one else ain't going to tell you to stay. I've taken from you what no other man could do. Fact. That's what we saw, people. Tyson Fury couldn't do it. Tyson Fury was hitting Ngannou all night with right hands. Huffing and puffing. They were bouncing off. And we concluded, anyone with eyes concluded, damn, Ngannou's got a good chin. I've seen him rocked by Stipe in 4-ounce gloves. I don't rate Stipe as a striker, but Stipe's knocked out many a fellow in them 4-ounce gloves, no? Ngannou took them shots. They bounced off. Fact. Yeah? AJ come along in 10-ounce gloves. The first thing that lands, Ngannou on his ass for the first time in his career. The second thing that lands, he halfway to Pluto. The third thing that lands, he is firmly resided in some unknown location in the Andromeda galaxy. People said to me yesterday, YB, yesterday I had this nebula background on, just testing some things out. And people said, wow, YB, how did the zone couldn't get there? The zone couldn't get there. Sky couldn't get there. YB, how have you located the galaxy that Ngannou's in? Well, I told you, I got the links. How do you think I know about Anunnaki? Yeah, the YB, he'd been patterned up with them, man. They put me on. They came down and said, listen, YB, do you want the first exclusive with Francis Ngannou? I said, yes. And they took my ass up there. I was there, people. I saw him. I saw what was left of his consciousness. Don't get me wrong, his humanly body wasn't with us anymore. We know that, we saw it. No one can watch that and tell me Francis Ngannou's human, earthly body was still here. It wasn't. That's moved on now. He's passed on to a new realm. And that's where I went. They took me there. I interviewed him. I can't show you the interview because the information, the energy that we were communicating, and it's not like this. I can't record it. Do you understand? There's no VCR for the soul. I sat down, had a frank conversation with Ngannou's soul in the Nebula Galaxy. That's what happened. Yeah? And between me and you, he was happy to move on. It was the right time for him. Yeah? He's got some other projects in the works and is working on some some new things in the other realm, and that's for him, right? I'm just telling you the facts. The facts are he got cooked. The facts are he needs to go back to UFC, the different world, the boxing world. I'm not saying there's nothing for him. I think he'll fit in nicely. I think him versus Joyce. I don't know what Joe Joyce's team are doing. I really don't. He fighting in Newcastle in the back arse of nowhere. Everyone getting paid in Saudi. Joe Joyce fighting in Newcastle. Madness. Someone like Joe Joyce will be intriguing. Two big units. Both chins were solid, right? Joe Joyce solid chin. Ngannou solid chin. Both their chins have been popped now. Let's see who's the most chinless now. Let's watch it. That'd be a good fight. But even then, listen, when Ngannou came in to fight Fury and AJ, that made sense. You've gone from the champion in one sport to the top level of another sport. You've beat the top level of another sport, so stay around. Why not? But now, doesn't mean he's finished in boxing. But I do believe this was the wake-up call he needed to say, you know what? I've got unfinished business. All the experience he's gained in boxing will only help him in striking in the UFC. It can't make him worse, I wouldn't have thought. And he needs to take that and ride with it and take on Johnny Bones. And then, I ain't gonna lie to you, Johnny Bones gonna drag his ass all over the floor. That's inevitable, but you've been dragged now. You've been knocked spark out now. Why not get dragged by Johnny Bones? And then come over to boxing and fight Joe Joyce and try and make a real run of it. If you beat Joe Joyce, if you beat a Chisora, if you beat a Dubois, then you're back in the mix. Equally though, from what I'm hearing, Ngannou will make as much money fighting someone like Chisora in Saudi as he would in the UFC fighting John Jones. But this is for me, at this point now, it's clear Ngannou's made like probably 20-30 mil. You're done now, from the money point of view. You don't have to be that frugal. You can put 30 mil in a risk-free account and make $1 million a year. That's 100k to blow every month. I just find that, of course you can blow it, but I'm just saying, like, come on, what do you need? You can have a big penthouse suite flat in every city. That's what, 20 grand a month or whatever. New York, London, Cameroon, wherever. Do you know what I mean? Have a few of them knocking around. What else you need? A car in each city. You can't spend that money. Hence, at this point, for Ngannou, you should be thinking more about legacy now. I've been washed in boxing. Let me go and see if I can maybe Ngannou knocks John Jones's block off. And he is then the supreme king of the UFC. He owns something there. But last week it was possible. I was betting on it. Last week I was betting Ngannou maybe was likely to be the king of boxing. He is not now. Now he must pursue his real earthly duties. He was never a champion in boxing. Well, maybe he was because of the Fury thing, but whatever. Yeah? Anyway, AJ tells Ngannou, don't leave boxing. Yeah, it's okay for you to stay. It's okay for you to stay up and whoop your ass. Yeah, you have permission from me to carry on boxing. Respect to AJ, he didn't have to give that permission. Yeah? AJ would have been well within his right to say, listen, Ngannou, I don't know what you thought this was. You thought there was something funny here. You thought it was a bit of a joke. No, he didn't, but you know what I mean. You could listen. AJ could have said, listen, Ngannou, I don't know what you thought this was. You thought you'd swan over here thinking there was something sweet in boxing. Oh yeah, I'll just hop in this game I've never done before and take everyone out. Oops. Yeah, so take your UFC, take your roll on the floor, have an ass. Take your rest and have an ass. Back to where it come from. And stay there. Yeah. And when I retire, I may give you permission to carry on boxing. But AJ ain't like me like that. He nice with it, right? But if you take things personal, I don't, but I'm being facetious, but listen. If you take things personal, if you were really a boxing dude, yeah, and you felt some type of way about it, you said, listen, I warned you, big ass. And don't forget as well, to be quite frank, yeah, Ngannou was giving it some rah-rah before the fight. Ngannou, in fact, I might have to troll him. Listen, hands up, I was wrong, right? My bank account trolled right now. Ngannou was trolling. Ngannou was saying, listen, if I hit AJ with the thing I hit Fury with, Fury got a chin, AJ ain't. Oops. So, it's only fair, really. Yes, Ngannou's broadly humble, but he did have some bars. I enjoyed the bars for what that's worth. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing Ngannou tell AJ that, listen, If I hit you with a what? If I hit you with a thing that I hit Fury with, you know you ain't gonna get up. We've seen you with Mr. Blobby. So we give it out. Energy. You give out what you receive what you give out, and he give it out. Oops. So if AJ would have been well within his right, to tell Ngannou, don't come back. I don't give you permission to come back. And if I hear you signed a fight, you best believe you're gonna 100%. I'm gonna pull up there. Yeah, you don't. If I hear that you've signed a fight with anyone, it's gonna be a problem. Me and you can have a problem. Yeah, and Ngannou will be like, oh shit, I best go back to the UFC because 100%. And Ngannou himself admitted he didn't even know what happened. I'll tell you this for free: if you're a grown ass man and you wake up and don't know what happened, you ain't trying to be in that vulnerable position again. It was only for the sake of human constructs that Ngannou is still with us. Yeah. If this was 5000 BC, yeah, and AJ and Ngannou were in there squabbling over a female or squabbling over some meat. Think about 10,000 years ago. Think about all the men, yeah, that just weren't anymore. Do you understand? They got into. There was no 10,000 years ago. There was no authorities. There was no police. There was no regulations. Yeah. I want that female. You want that female. Oops. One of us is moving on to the next realm, right? That's the bottom line. And this is boxing or fighting is like a new age version of that with rules in. But if this was 10,000 years ago and AJ and Ngannou had a problem, Ngannou would be moving on to the next life. Fact. Yeah? He'd have been knocked spark out and AJ would have got a rock and clocked him with it. And that's it. That would be the end. And that's quite interesting, actually. Philosophically speaking, think about all the probably millions of people. Millions of people went out that way. Millions of people woke up one day and they saw some sweet. They saw something they thought was sweet, similar to Ngannou saw boxing and thought, "Oh, I'll have a piece of that." Yeah, the same way many men woke up 10,000 years ago and thought, "Oh, there's a nice bit of Panan. I see a nice bit of Panan. I wouldn't mind to go on that." Tutus, that Panan. Another man also fancied a bit of that Panan. Yeah? Think of all the people who woke up and their only crime was fancying a bit of Panan. Yeah? Little did they know that would be the last time they ever woke up again. That's kind of, I don't know, it sends shivers down my spine. We live in times where everything's so safe, right? You can sit there, I can go to the gym and see some Panan and think, oh, you know what I'm saying? In the right situation, I wouldn't mind to go on that. That doesn't lead to my heavenly demise, does it? But more time, 10,000 years ago, thoughts like that would be your last day, people. That's your last day there. Well done. Well done for thinking that there was some nice sweet Panan over there. That's it. Zup. The end of you. It's mad, isn't it? But anyway, Ngannou's lucky that AJ's humble. Ngannou's lucky that AJ has given Ngannou the right to continue. You may come back to school tomorrow. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a governor of the school. I'm the man who whoop your ass. And I'm giving you the authority that you may come back to school tomorrow. You may continue boxing. Yeah? Even after all the stuff you talk to me. Even after all that rah-rah you be given. And end up all sorry looking on the floor in a big heap. Yeah, I'm still going to rise above it. And bless you to continue in this game. Even though really you don't deserve it. You talk too much. That's what AJ could say to Ngannou. You talk too much. No, I'm sorry, Ngannou. You talk too much. You need to go. We need to move on now. Otherwise, I'm going to stay on your ass. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. And lick off the bell, 100%. And all that.